If you've ever wondered, why aren't my classes growing? It's not because you're lazy, untalented, or bad at marketing. Most instructors are working hard, but growth doesn't come from hustle. So we're going to reframe this question. We're going to be talking about what actually builds classes, and that's clarity, confidence, progression, and trust, and why teaching matters more than performing. Let's get into it. If you're a dance or fitness instructor who wants to grow your classes, boost income, and turn your passion into a real business, you're in the right place. Each week, I'll share the exact strategies, lessons, and truth smacks from building a thriving belly dance fitness brand. We'll dive into what actually fills classes and keeps students coming back so that you can build a profitable instructor career. So, lace up those sneakers and pull on those dance shoes. It's time to build the business you deserve. I'm Orit, and welcome to Dance Fit Biz Builders. Hey there, and welcome to Dance Fit Biz Builders. I'm Orit, your host. So let's start with a question I hear more than any other. Why aren't my classes growing? And then it's usually followed by, I'm working so hard, I'm posting, I'm preparing, I'm showing up all the time. So if that's you, let me say this clearly. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're untalented, and it's not because you're bad at marketing, if you're marketing. Most of the time, classes don't grow for reasons instructors were never taught to see. So I want to talk about this. One reason why your class might not be filling up or growing is because this is a hard one to hear, so I'll say it gently but honestly. A lot of classes may be fun. They may have great music and they have great energy, but fun doesn't equal progress. If students leave class thinking, wow, that was fun, but I'm not sure if I did it right, or I liked it, but I felt a little lost, or everyone else seemed to get it faster than me, they probably won't come back. Not because they hated the class, but because confusion quietly killed their confidence. And you know, guys, confidence is what brings people back. Now, another reason why your classes may not be growing is that they felt left behind. They rarely blame you. They blame themselves. They think, oh, I'm not coordinated enough, or too behind for the class, or everyone else knows what's going on except me. So instead of asking for help, what they do is they disappear. They don't come back. See, growth doesn't come from trying to impress these students or making it hard, or how advanced can you make it and complicated and fancy and showy, whatever. It comes from helping people feel successful. Another thing is, and this is a big one, many instructors teach the way they perform. So like they teach full speed, they teach full out, polished, all that stuff. But performance is not the end result for these students. Teaching explains the process. How are you going to get to that performance quality? You don't get right to it from the start, but you have to teach the process. You have to explain how to get there. And that's how you need to think about your classes. If your class relies mostly on watch me, long demos, little breakdown, fast transitions, lead leg changes that don't make sense. When I say lead leg change, I mean if you land on the right foot, then suddenly you have to pick up the right foot again to start on the right. Like that's a lead leg change that doesn't work. If that happens, people don't commit. They just end up being like spectators in your class, right? They commit when they feel capable. That's why your class grows. Students feel capable. Hey, quick pause, because if you're listening to this podcast and thinking, okay, this makes sense, but how do I actually teach in a way that keeps people coming back? You're not alone. That's exactly why I created the SharkKey Beat and Block training. It shows you how to build classes on the beat in clear blocks of movement so your students can follow and you can teach with way more ease. Less prep, more confidence, and classes that grow because people feel successful. Now, the training isn't open yet, but the waiting list is, and that's where you'll get early access and first details. Head over to sharkey.com/social. Get yourself on that waiting list. And here's to teaching smarter, dancing happier, and enjoying the music without overthinking it. Another reason that a lot of people don't like to talk about is there's no structure, and no structure equals no retention. If every class feels completely different, if there's no familiar structure, if students don't know what to expect, then they can't track their progress. Sure, variety feels exciting at first, but consistency builds trust. And you can build variety on top of consistency. You just need to be shown how. When students recognize patterns like phrasing or timing or blocks, then they're like, oh, I know how this works. I see what you're doing. Then they relax. Then they return. Then they bring their friends. And don't we all want that? And a lot of the time, we weren't taught structure. Another thing is that most instructors think that growth means more posting, more flyers, more hustle. No, if people already are coming but aren't staying, bringing in new people won't fix that. Class growth is built on retention, trust, progression, and word of mouth. People talk about classes where they feel good, where they feel competent. So no, you don't need to hustle more. You need to show them that they can progress and they feel competent. Another reason is it's not a popularity problem. Your classes don't grow because of algorithms. They grow because of experience, the student experience. How clear the class feels, how safe it feels, how supported they feel, that's a big one, and how much progress they feel. When those things are in place, students stay, students return, they tell their friends, and that's also growth. So the bottom line, folks, if your classes aren't growing, ask yourself, not with judgment, but with curiosity, do my students know what's happening? Do they feel successful? Do they feel progress over time? And do they trust my structure? Because growth, folks, it doesn't come from doing more. It comes from teaching effectively. And the good news, that's something that you can absolutely learn. So if you found this episode helpful, please share it with a colleague or a friend. And of course, I would love a 5-star review. Please go to Apple and Spotify, wherever you listen to this podcast. And of course, until next episode, go and kick ass.